Hello and welcome to Unlock UPSC. Today, we're diving deep into a really important editorial topic for anyone preparing for civil services exams like UPSC, UPPCS, or BPSC. We're talking about India's big dream to host mega sporting events, including the Olympics. But as you'll see, this is about so much more than just sports. It's really about geopolitics, economics, and a country's identity on the world stage. So let's break it down.
This quote right here really sets the tone for our entire discussion. It tells us that the 2030 Commonwealth Games aren't just another event. No, they're being seen as a critical, high-stakes trial run for an even bigger prize, the 2036 Olympics. Think of it like this. The International Olympic Committee is watching. They're not just going to hand over the Games. They need to see proof that a country can handle it. So a successful 2030 Games would be the best possible proof India could offer. Of failure? Well, that would be a major setback.
So, here's how we're going to break it all down today. First, we'll look at just how big India's ambition is here. Then, we'll get into the whole idea of soft power and what that means. After that, we'll have to look at the flip side, the very real costs and risks. Fourth, we'll see why this is being called a national litmus test. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with some key points you can use directly in your mains exam answers.
Okay, let's jump into our first section. To really understand why a country would take on such a massive and expensive project, you have to realize this is about way more than just sports. It's about a country making a powerful statement to the rest of the world about where it sees itself in the future.
You see, these events are like a giant global showcase. A country puts everything on display for the world to see. And we're not just talking about how good your athletes are. Can you manage a massive, complex project? Is your economy strong enough to handle the costs? Are your cities and transport systems ready? Can you keep everyone safe? It's basically a national report card, and the whole world is watching live.
Now, if you look at this timeline, you can see there's a real strategy here. The 2010 Games in Delhi, well, they serve as a baseline. They were a lesson in what to do, but maybe more importantly, what not to do. So the proposed 2030 Games are being set up as the all-important dress rehearsal. It's India's chance to show the world, hey, we learned from our mistakes, and now we're ready for the main event, the 2036 Olympics.
All right, moving on to Section 2. This is where we see how a sporting event becomes a powerful tool for a country's foreign policy. We're talking about the idea of soft power.
So what exactly is cultural soft power? Well, put simply, it's about influence through attraction, not force. It's when other countries want to be your partner because they admire your culture, your values, and your way of doing things. And in today's world, sports are a huge part of this. A perfectly hosted Olympic Games can do more for a country's image and reputation than years and years of quiet diplomacy. It's all about winning hearts and minds on a global scale.
And the potential benefits are just massive. A successful event instantly boosts your country's reputation. It brings in a flood of tourists and gives a huge push to businesses in hospitality and transport. And crucially, it forces the government to upgrade city infrastructure. We're talking new metro lines, better roads, modern airports, things that the public gets to use for decades to come. It also gives India a chance to showcase its incredible culture to billions of people. And here's something really unique for India in the 21st century. The Games would be a live-action showcase for digital India. Imagine this. You've got digital tickets, seamless UPI payments everywhere, advanced AI-powered security systems, and super-fast 5G for everyone. It's a chance to demonstrate on the biggest stage imaginable that India isn't just a rising power, it's a technological leader.
But of course, it's not all sunshine and roses. For every big opportunity, there's a big risk. So now we have to be honest and look at the potential downsides, especially given India's own history with this.
This phrase is used for a reason. The memory of the 2010 Commonwealth Games in Delhi still casts a long shadow over any new proposal. It's that nagging voice in the back of everyone's mind, a reminder of what can happen when things go wrong, when corruption and bad management take over. So what exactly happened in 2010? Well, the budget absolutely spiraled out of control. There were serious allegations of corruption that badly damaged India's reputation. Key stadiums and infrastructure weren't ready on time, leading to a last-minute scramble. In the end, instead of boosting India's image, the event actually ended up having a pretty negative impact in many ways. These are lessons that absolutely have to be remembered.
And this brings us to a huge question of priorities. It's what economists call opportunity cost.
Is spending billions of dollars on a 2-week event really the best use of that money? Critics make a very fair point. Couldn't those billions be used to build grassroots sports facilities in every single town, or for more urgent needs like hospitals, schools, and rural development? It's a classic debate. Do you invest in a spectacular showcase or in fundamental needs?
And then you have the infrastructure dilemma. The goal is always to build amazing, world-class stadiums and facilities that people can use for years. But the risk is creating what are called white elephants. These giant, expensive venues that, after the games end, just sit there empty, falling apart, and costing the public money to maintain. We've seen it happen in places like Athens and Rio. Making sure every single building has a long-term purpose is absolutely critical.
So, with such high stakes and such serious risks, how can India actually pull this off successfully? Well, that brings us to Section 4. The idea here is to treat the 2030 Games not just as a sporting event, but as a kind of national laboratory, a chance to test out new ideas in governance and management.
This table really lays out the whole debate perfectly. You can see it's a genuine double-edged sword. On one side, you have all this incredible potential, more prestige, economic growth, better cities. But on the other, you have these very real risks: damage to your reputation, huge financial debt, and taking money away from other important areas. The key to success isn't ignoring the risks, it's creating a system to manage every single one of them.
So what would a successful plan look like? Well, first, you need strict economic discipline from day one, with total transparency. Second, you need a strong accountability system to prevent corruption. Third, you've got to be innovative with the financing. This is a perfect chance to test models like public-private partnerships, or PPPs. That's where the government works with private companies, which reduces the financial burden on taxpayers. And finally, sustainability has to be the core principle. Every stadium, every building must have a clear, long-term purpose for the public.
Okay, let's get to our final section, which is all about how you can take what we've learned and apply it in your mains exam. We're going to boil this down into the key points you need to build a really strong, well-structured answer. So when you're writing your answer, start by framing these events as a tool of soft power. Next, and this is very important, you have to present a balanced argument. Talk about both the pros and the cons. You absolutely should use the 2010 Commonwealth Games as a case study to show what can go wrong. Then, for your way forward, propose a model built on sustainability and financial common sense, and be sure to mention public-private partnerships. And your final powerful conclusion should be this: hosting these games isn't a test for a sports ministry, it's a test for the entire nation's governance system.
And to help you put all of this into practice, here's a sample question to think about. Mega sporting events are a double-edged sword for developing nations. Critically analyze this statement in the context of India's ambition to host the 2036 Olympics using the proposed 2030 Commonwealth Games as a case study. Try to outline an answer using the framework we just discussed. It's a great way to consolidate your thoughts.
See you again tomorrow with an important editorial. For this, subscribe to the YouTube channel Unlock UPSC. Thank you.